Alright, this is instructions for doing a hard drive swap on the Radiant P1530 register. The first step before you begin anything is to unhook all cables, especially the power cable. So right here we have just a clean register with nothing plugged into it at all. Step one is going to be to remove these 4 screws in the bottom of the register. You got 2 of them that are angled at a 90 degrees. So you just go straight into it, and then you have 2 more screws on the ends that are angled at a 45-degree angle. So you kind of go in at an angle like that. Be sure to do it correctly, otherwise you'll end up stripping the screws out. Really, the only tool you're going to need for this is just a Phillips head screwdriver. Super simple. If you have a magnetic head screwdriver, it makes it just a little bit simpler to keep track of your screws as you're pulling them out. Alright, now that we got all the screws out, there's a couple things we need to look at here. One is this plastic piece on the back is probably going to fall out as we're pulling it out. The other thing, the way this monitor is sealed on here is it's got 4 tabs, one here, 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 and here. So you got these 4 tabs that it needs to lift up and at an angle. On the back here, there's also 2 more tabs that are kind of pushed in this way. I want to kind of lift up in that direction. Here's this black piece I was telling you about. A lot of times it'll fall off, so you can just kind of set it aside. You have 4 cables under here holding it all together. If you move it to the left side, you can just kind of flip it around to the back. Now that we're inside here, the hard drive is this silver thing right here. So we've got it attached. There's one main screw, and that's right over the top, and it's holding the little black bracket down. So all you have to do is undo that screw, and then you'll pull the hard drive out with the bracket. When you're pulling out, you want to push it that direction first, because there's a clip right here that's how the hard drive is plugged into the motherboard. So you want to push and free the hard drive from that clip, and then pull straight up. So here's the hard drive. If you're replacing the hard drive itself, you'll need to undo these 2 screws and remove the clip, and then put the other hard drive back with this clip. If you have another hard drive that already has the retaining bracket or clip, then you can just leave this current bracket on this one and just do a straight swap over. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're just basically going to put everything back together now. The hardest part of this whole installation and swap out is getting this hard drive back in. This little retaining clip here where the hard drive attaches directly to the motherboard is floating up higher than the base here, and that's so airflow can get underneath this hard drive. When you do it, you can't just lay it flat, because it'll slide directly under that clip, and then that's not what we want. We need it in the clip. So it's kind of tricky. You have to kind of hold it, float it up a little bit, and get it directly pushed in there. You'll know it's right because the hard drive itself is almost flush with the clip itself. And then you just put your screw back in, and that'll keep the hard drive in place. All right, so when putting this back together, we found the easiest way is to put the plastic backing on first before we put the monitor on. So we're going to do that now. So we just take our backing. There's this little paper thing. Make sure it's still in place. And we're going to put it right back in where it goes. So just kind of snap it directly in place. Now that it's on, if you have it kind of angled up, it makes it a little bit easier because you have these little hooks right here, little plastic hooks. They're going to slip directly in these little retaining hooks here. So you want to slide it down and then snap these little tabs directly into these other little tabs here. So we're just going to angle it just a little bit, kind of slide it down into place, and then push our monitor back on. If you look around the edge, you'll see there's just a slight little gap like we had before, and that's exactly what we want. Now we just put our 4 screws back in, remembering that we have a 90-degree angles and 45-degree angles. They don't need to be too terribly tight, just a little bit snug, because this is plastic here. We don't want to snap or strip out the plastic in here. It really doesn't matter which order you go in on putting these screws back in. All right, and that's all there is to it.